Welcome to a deep dive. Today we're taking the single source brought to us by the learner, and it's a dazzling, devastating folktale, and analyzing exactly how it just completely transcends historical romance and steps straight into the supernatural.
He really does.
We're stepping back over 1,000 years right into the legendary um, glittering heart of Baghdad during the golden age of Caliph Harun al-Rashid. The source is The Lover from the Grave, a tale of undying love.
It's a stunning example of Abbasid-era storytelling. It blends this, meticulous courtly detail with these intense, almost terrifying emotional stakes. I mean, this isn't just a love story. It's more like a legal and supernatural contract that's enforced by just extreme devotion. Our mission today is to unpack the emotional logic of this tale.
Right.
To find those precise moments, the chilling details that allowed this love to literally conquer death and, even force a caliph's hand.
That's the key, isn't it? This whole deep dive is about understanding the mechanics of a story where you have obsessive grief, forbidden attraction, and raw state power all just colliding.
Exactly.
It gives us this fascinating snapshot of how love, the rule of law, and, well, the supernatural were all viewed in the world of 1001 Nights.
Absolutely. And the setting is so crucial. You have to remember, Harun al-Rashid's Baghdad was the capital of the Abbasid Caliphate. I mean, it was the most powerful, learned, sophisticated city on earth at the time.
Yeah, the center of the world.
Totally. A place where merchants traded silks from China and scholars debated philosophy, but also a place where, people believed jinns walked the streets and the caliph's absolute judgment could change reality overnight.
It's the perfect stage for a miracle.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's unpack the tragedy that sets this all in motion. We start with our protagonists. First, there's the maiden, Zayn al-Mawasif,
And her name means beauty of rendezvous.
which is so fitting. She's the daughter of a great noble house, and she's described as having a heart that burned like a hidden flame. It really suggests this passion just waiting to be ignited.
And then there's the young man. What's interesting is the source actually omits his name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which in a way makes him this kind of universal tragic lover. He's described simply in terms of his overwhelming beauty. And when they meet, it's not a courtship, it's a catastrophe.
Right. So they see each other in the bazaar, which was like the busiest place in the known world, and the spark is immediate and it's total.
Yeah, the source is very clear on this. Love struck them both like an arrow to the heart.
There's no gradual affection here. It's an instantaneous, almost fatal attraction. It leaves both of them immediately ill with longing.
That speed is so important because it justifies the extreme measures that follow. The intensity of their love, the fact they were just instantly consumed, it has to be absolute, or the rest of the story, it just fails.
It's not a preference, it's like a terminal illness.
It is. And then their families, who are presumably pretty well placed in Baghdad society, they immediately refuse the match.
And the source doesn't get into the why, does it? Like, was it class or wealth or some old feud?
It never says. But whatever the reason, the refusal is absolute. It functions as that necessary external barrier. We don't need a detailed motive. We just need the immovable object.
And the young man's reaction, that proves the depth of his devotion.
Oh, absolutely. He literally could not bear the rejection. He withered and died of grief. And he was buried quickly in a lonely cemetery just beyond the city walls.
Dying of sorrow. I mean, that sets the baseline for the incredible dedication that's required for the resurrection that follows. For him, life without her was genuinely impossible.
It does. And now we move to Zayn al-Mawasif, who, unlike the young man, doesn't simply yield to death. Her reaction is, well, it's arguably more terrifying than his.
How so?
When she hears the news, the source just states that madness took her.
And that madness, it manifests as this extreme focused devotion. She doesn't mourn in a conventional way. She flees her comfortable home, dresses perpetually in black, and goes directly to the fresh grave.
And just settles in.
Yeah, she would weep there until dawn, returning every single night.
This is where grief turns into ritual. And ritual in these kinds of tales, well, it often turns into magic. This repetitive, obsessive act is what fuels the entire supernatural contract.
And the source gives us a specific, incredibly visceral detail about her dedication.
Oh, it's chilling. She ate nothing but her own tears.
I mean, can you even imagine that? She is literally subsisting on her sorrow. It blurs the line between the living and the dead.
It does. And of course, in the busy world of Baghdad, this behavior it becomes the subject of intense gossip. The locals notice her nightly vigil, and they start whispering that she has married a corpse.
And the crazy thing is, the gossip turns out to be true.
Exactly, which suggests that the popular understanding of supernatural boundaries was maybe more accurate than the formal law. So on one particular moonlit night, as she's sitting there whispering to the earth, the ground stirs.
This is where it just steps completely outside of reality.
Mm.
As she reaches out, a cold hand rose from the soil and clasped hers. It's the pivotal moment, a callback generated by her sustained, focused will.
And the young man emerges. But he's not. He's not returned as he was before. He is pale as moonlight, eyes open but empty.
A living corpse.
Yes, called back specifically by the intense warming effect of her constant tears falling on his resting place. Her absolute will acted as like a reverse embalming fluid.
So if the tears gave him life, what are the limits? What's the contract here?
He provides the crucial role immediately. He explains that her devotion worked, but only partially. He lives again, quote, but only at night. When the sun rises, I die once more.
The light is the law. The sun is his executioner every single morning.
It is.
So this raises an important question. Why this specific condition? Why only at night?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture of Abbasid folklore, night is the realm of mystery, right? Of jinn activity, of things that defy rational explanation.
So the darkness provides this protective veil that's necessary for their existence.
Exactly. The caliphate, which is represented by the sun and public order, it just cannot tolerate such a breach of natural law. Their love exists in this perpetual narrow window of exception.
And this becomes their secret life, their routine. For months, they sat among the tombs, speaking of love and holding each other.
By day, Zayn would return home and, try to live normally in her father's house. But the source says by night, she belonged to the dead.
Think about the psychological pressure on her. She's maintaining two completely separate realities.
Oh, it's immense. She knows that every morning she kisses her beloved goodbye, only for him to crumble back into clay. Her daytime life must have been nothing more than just a wait for sunset.
Her commitment is absolute. The grave is essentially their marital home.
It is, and that level of commitment, that intensity, that's what ultimately invites scrutiny. Secrets like that, especially supernatural ones, they just can't survive in a city as tightly controlled as Harun al-Rashid's Baghdad.
Precisely. Harun al-Rashid was famed for ensuring justice and maintaining public order. He wasn't just a figurehead.
No, he was an active ruler, and his legendary night walks, often in disguise, were central to his fame. He was checking on his people, searching for injustice, or apparently for supernatural anomalies.
And who's with him? The two figures who embody his entire state machinery. You have Jafar the vizier.
His chief administrator, the voice of formal state law.
And Masrur the swordsman.
The chief executioner, the symbol of physical enforcement. It's the perfect narrative arrangement. You have justice, administration, and force.
So as they're walking the cemetery, maybe looking for common thieves, they stumble upon something truly uncommon.
They see the maiden and the corpse sitting hand in hand beneath the moon.
And Jafar, the bureaucrat, he immediately provides the legal classification for what he's seeing. He whispers, "This is sorcery."
Which raises a really important question for the caliph. Is this a profound miracle of human devotion, or is it a dangerous threat to the social and divine order?
Right. If the sorcery, you have to punish it. If it's a miracle, you have to understand it.
And Harun orders them seized immediately. He needs to bring this anomaly under the purview of state law.
And this act of intervention, the physical seizing of them, that's what fatally interrupts their delicate contract.
Yes. As the guards lay hands on the young man, the consequences are violently confirmed. The sun begins to rise.
And he instantly crumbled into lifeless clay before their eyes.
It's the moment the external world, represented by the guards and the rising sun, just irrevocably breaks the spell. The rules of nature reassert themselves with brutal efficiency.
So their attempt to detain him becomes, tragically, his second and final death. The shock of that sudden disintegration must have been profound for everyone watching.
Absolutely. Intensely dramatic. The caliph witnesses the contract being broken in real time.
So what does this all mean for Zayn al-Mawasif? She's taken to the palace, now in chains, accused of consorting with a corpse and, potentially sorcery. She is facing the absolute power of the Abbasid state.
And her response here is maybe the most courageous act in the entire story. He tells the caliph everything, every painful, obsessive detail.
And crucially, she does this without fear or shame. She has nothing left to lose. She's just proudly defending her love.
Exactly. And this is the ultimate test of Harun al-Rashid's legendary wisdom. Is he going to judge her based on the letter of the law, consorting with the dead, which is forbidden, or on the spirit of the emotion?
And his reaction is the ultimate twist in the narrative.
It really is. He listens to her story in silence, and then, the source makes a point of this, tears filled his eyes. He recognizes the magnitude of a love that refused to respect the boundaries of life and death.
And his judgment is just a profound decree. He says, "Your love has conquered death itself. I will not part what even the grave could not separate."
It's a stunning reversal. The absolute ruler of the Muslim world doesn't punish her. He validates and formalizes her relationship with a corpse.
So he's using the power of the state to sanction the supernatural.
Yeah.
Why would a caliph who's responsible for strict social order do something like that?
Well, there are two readings here. First, it's a reflection of his own empathy. He's moved by the story. But second, and I think more politically significant, he's co-opting the miracle. By granting his royal sanction, he brings this extraordinary, potentially subversive event under the umbrella of his own authority. He's seen as the benevolent ruler who understands even the deepest, most obsessive human passions.
So it actually solidifies his reputation for justice and wisdom, even against the laws of nature.
Precisely. He transforms a tale of madness into a state-sanctioned institution, and he immediately grants royal honors, treating the young man with the respect he was denied in his first death.
Yes, the ritual of honor is extensive. The young man's body was washed with rosewater and camphor,
Which was traditionally used for the most honored burials, and he was interred with the full honors of a prince. This is Harun correcting that initial injustice from the families.
And for Zayn al-Mawasif, the living testament to this devotion, the caliph ensures her comfort and her continued access. He builds her a small palace, not a prison, right beside the cemetery walls.
So she can be near him every night. He literally builds her life around their death. He made the forbidden relationship a permanent, state-sponsored institution that respects their unique constraints.
The state doesn't try to change the supernatural rules. It just adapts the civic environment to accommodate them.
Yes, and the final reality is that the decree didn't magically cure the curse, it just blessed it. The caliph's intervention guaranteed their existence could continue without fear. Every sunset, the earth opens and the lover rises, cold but breathing.
They get to live their love in the darkness until dawn, when he has to return to sleep.
It's a love story that exists in this perpetual, agonizing cycle of
Meeting and parting every single day.
Harun al-Rashid's decision is the ultimate synthesis. He's integrating this profound, obsessive, supernatural act, a woman married to a corpse, into the official history and landscape of the capital. He honored the depth of the human emotion over the rigidity of the law.
And the legacy of this romance is literally etched into the landscape of Baghdad. The people started calling that place the graveyard of the dead lover.
It became a place known not for decay, but for the persistence of connection.
A connection that, according to the source, still lingers. They say that even now, centuries later, on moonlit nights, you can still see two shadows among the tombs, one warm, one cold, whispering the words that death itself could not silence. And that persistence, that eternal cycle's brief reunion and inevitable separation, brings us to the final provocative thought for you to consider. This love story depends entirely on that cycle, a constant daily tragedy. If their greatest victory is merely the ability to temporarily defeat the rules of nature, does this still count as a tragedy? Or is it, in fact, the ultimate painful victory over fate itself?